Good one stopped again. There. Cool. Thank you, Will, and thank you everyone for being here tonight to the Nipissing Township Council meeting Tuesday, May 14th at 6:30 p.m. I'll ask first of all if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, I'll move on to number 2, which is oath of office for new council member.
Can I just read that?
Mhm.
Okay. It says, James Scotts will truthfully, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise therefore for the exercise of office, biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any peculiar interest directly, indirectly, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. That's it.
Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
And we'll move on to public comment on the 2024 proposed budget. So I look at the gallery, I don't see any public.
And we didn't receive any written or verbal comments from the public either.
But anyway, having received none, we'll move on to number 4, which is council discussion of the 2024 proposed budget. And Chris has had to make some changes.
Just one change.
One change.
One change to the Public Works Roads Department page, and it's highlighted in yellow. We had an issue with the Stone Cutters Road culvert that we weren't expecting. So it requires reline, and that will be approximately 300,000. So we've taken that from the bridge reserve, so as not to affect the tax rate. And once it's relined, we'll have a few years to rebuild that reserve once we're finished. Other than that, there have been no changes. We did receive an amended budget for the library, bringing it down to 14%.
You want me to speak to that?
Yeah. But with it being in our budget as it is now, if we do not have to pay the levy at the full price, I would recommend putting the remainder into reserve, as that will be coming to us next year as well.
From the library,
Yes.
correct. No, and I think we also received,
We received a notice from Chisholm,
yes,
a resolution from them.
and I'll just read it if we didn't all. Be it resolved that the council of the Township of Chisholm receive the Boston District Union Public Library Budget 2024, and further council is not in agreement with the 2024 budget estimates, and further will provide a copy of this resolution to the other members, that being us and Boston. And Boston, I don't know if they ever voted on it or not,
I have no idea.
but we are,
We normally do after we pass that budget.
and so we could again pass it as it is, their new budget. And then I think again, I think we found out this year, you have to have reserves, you know, because we're, you know, 2 culverts that we didn't expect. And I think it's wise, because I know Steve and the library committee are gonna continue to go after the government and anybody else for library funds, so we should have a reserve when they come and knock it, so.
Our expectation is that the minister is there at Amo for in the bear pit. That Bernadette and I are going to ask a couple of pointed questions. And Leo stepped up and explained to, it was kind of neat the way he said it, asked the questions so that you commit him to, you know, you have to agree that this is what's needed, you know, that, anyway. So we're gonna sit with Leo and work on some questions because he appears to be pretty handy with that, so we're gonna tag team the ministers.
Good. So otherwise, from a council point of view, we have had this budget draft now for a month. So is there anything that we need to look at further? And we know, as we just pointed out, things are gonna change. Things are gonna happen. Things are gonna change. So this is our budget for this year.
Yes.
But it will be a different of next year for sure. So is there any other comment? Anyone wanted to comment on anything on the budget?
I think it's good, ready to go.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There was some, like you said, there's some minor stuff in that emergency COVID thing, but the only change I could see was the library, and I called you earlier about it, so. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Okay. So we need a mover and a second, please. Councillor Kirky and Councillor Yim. It's number R 2024-101, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Yim, that we pass bylaw number 2024-22, being a bylaw to adopt the estimates for all sums required for the year to provide for the adoption of tax rates and to further provide for penalty and interest in default of payment thereof for 2024, read a first, second, and third time, and pass this 14th day of May 2024. All in favor? Carried.
Tax ratios.
Okay. As soon as we pass the budget, then we can do tax ratios. And that was,
They haven't changed from last year.
okay, I was gonna say that, thank you. So I need a mover and seconder, okay, Councillor Yim and Councillor Scott. It's number R 2024-102, moved by Councillor Yim, seconded by Councillor Scott, that we pass bylaw number 2024-23, being a bylaw to set tax ratios for municipal purposes for the year 2024. Read a first, second, and third time and passes 14th day of May 2024. All in favor? Here. Number 3, and a month ago now, we voted on the human resources package. So this is to amend the remuneration schedule, the Township of Nipissing pay equity plan. I need a mover and a seconder, and then if there's any comments or questions, we'll be here to ask. Anthony, Councillor Kirky, and Councillor Foote. It's number R 2024-103, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Foote, that we pass bylaw number 2024-24, being a bylaw to amend remuneration schedule in the Township of Nipissing pay equity plan. Read a first, second, and third time. Passes 14th day of May. But now I'll say any comment or questions. Seeing none, all in favor? Carried.
we did make the adjustments to the licensing requirements.
Awesome.
Yes. So we've added to the fire chief, the DZ, a valid Ontario driver's license DZ, and for the public works, a valid Ontario DZ license, and AZ is an asset, because we can't always get AZ.
And those other few
And we
little things.
also, yes, we changed the library, sorry, the
Museum.
museum, sorry, that was on my mind. The museum staff, we had it in there that they must have a high school diploma. And then
To be a
because
summer
we have
student.
students that are working towards it, we put in there all four working towards one. And there was one spelling error that was corrected.
Okay. So I need a mover and a seconder. So we're. What, from Counselor Yam? And then I'll open it for discussion again if there's anything else, but there was a lot of reading this week. So it's number R 2024-104, moved by Councillor Foot, seconded by Councillor Yim. We passed bylaw number 2024-25, being a bylaw to adopt municipal position descriptions for municipal staff positions for the Township of Nipissing. Read a first, second, and third time and passed this 14th day of May 2024. Any comments or questions? I guess my only comment, and I've heard this from a few other staff, things they did leave out were, you know, if you're on the road, you really should have a driver's license, but anyway.
We do have it in our HR policy manual that all the staff that drive municipal vehicles are enrolled in the Orba driver's license check program and all of those things as well. So we do have double checks on them.
Okay,
And those are checked quarterly and reported on.
any other comment or questions? All in favor?
And this wraps up the entire HR program.
Okay,
Perfect.
yep. Okay. Every committee that Councillor Butler was on, now we have to vote and change them. And there'll be more coming down the pipe.
Yes.
So, mover and seconder. Okay, thanks, Councillor Scott, Councillor Turkey. It's number R 2024-105, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that we pass bylaw number 2024-26, being a bylaw to confirm the appointment of members to the Township of Nipissing Committee of Adjustment, read a first, second, and third time, and passed this 14th day of May 2024. All in favor? Carried. Okay, committee reports. We probably have lost most of our crowd by then, so now we can go to committee reports. And I started, I have to change that. Start with Councillor Yim.
I have two. We had a cemetery board meeting that was very quick. We discussed the fees for 2024 and they will be unchanged, that everything is covering itself. So it's good to go. That was our biggest part of our discussion. We had a museum board meeting. Summer student funding was confirmed, one position through Canada Summer Jobs Funding and one through Summer Employment Opportunities Program. So we're good to go. The foundation's still waiting for the engineer to approve, but the road crew got right on it, I think the next day, and got everything done, ready to go, so I can't see.
All set.
Yeah, so still waiting on him just to come.
I haven't heard the
Yeah.
final report, but everything that he requested has been completed, so we're just
Perfect.
needing his final signature.
That's good. And there had been an alternate plan to use the church if we had to, but I'm sure we're not going to have to. We had a look at the new flyer that's going to be presented. It's a 3-fold flyer, and if Amanda wants to be involved, it'll be a front and back. So I don't know if we've heard from.
I know it's drafted, but I'm not sure what the final outcome is.
Okay, yeah, but it's done really nice. It looks good. We discussed our Heritage Day Fall Fest and landmark signs we discussed, and we're waiting for people's, anybody can help out with it, such as the Chapman House, the Gerber Farm. So we can have small plaques for their heritage. To our museum, we got 5 books from Andrew Hind, and we're gonna sell those, and we can order 5 more if it goes well. And that's all I have. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
no,
I didn't tell anybody
It's just a
either.
forensic phone call.
Yeah.
but you told me, so I was gonna tell everybody. Anyway, we'll move on to Councilor Foot.
We had a rec committee meeting last night, so it was great. Welcome, James, to the rec committee. Thank you for joining us. And again, the mayor's gonna help us out, but it's great. Here's the mayor, and James is gonna step in and take over for him, so that's great. Although he's agreed to help us with soccer still, and all those little things, so it'll be fun. We get to keep him. So it's fantastic. We didn't collect bottle drive fully this week due to Mother's Day, although we did have one of our volunteers step up and go collect just cans from one of the landfills, and she took in $144 and took care of a little bit of it for us. So tentatively, we're scheduled to do it again May 26th, and we'll just finish that up. Chair yoga finished up. So we had 33 people register for chair yoga this year, and 20 attended on a regular basis, which is a great turnout. They collected $344.50 to be split between the 2 food banks, and $179 worth of food.
Nice.
That was fantastic. Yeah, love it. They had team dance, which they had run at. 15 kids attended, and nothing but good things to say about the kids and how well they were behaved and kind of what went on. But we're talking now, we're gonna take pop out, and the kids just want water, which is wonderful. Yeah, we love it. And candy was a hit. So we're gonna revamp the schedule for team dances. We have one scheduled for August and November. So we're gonna move it to October and do a Halloween dance.
Nice.
Dress up, some prizes, and just have some fun with it. I think the kids will love it. So that'll be fantastic. As of right now, our card game event has nobody registered for it. So we've postponed that. We'll get it into a better time, maybe in the fall, find a little better time when people want to get out in a different time slot. Soccer prep, ready to go. Soccer season's ready to go. Enough volunteers, enough everybody going on, and they've got it completely organized, ready to go. We've got 120 kids. So we really haven't lost a lot, have we? But we gained. We gained,
Yes.
yes. So that's awesome. That's actually doing something really good.
Talk to
Should
the
be
Black
proud.
Flies, they'll all be there Thursday night.
So I think the cool part about it is there's still gonna be 8 teams. So that'll be fun. I was talking to some young kids in over the last week, and they're like, I'm gonna play soccer on the grass this year. So the kids are excited, right? 10 teams or 10 teams, what did I say? Okay, it's 10 teams. Sorry, I do have 10 in my notes. So it was awesome. And then we're just working towards our candidate plan. So we did get a grant to help us with candidate, and we're working towards that. We did secure DJ. We secured a DJ last night, so that was good.
Good.
And what's that? July 1st. So it'll be good. Start 6 o'clock, fireworks at dusk, and then people can go off to work the next day. Right? And really, there was nothing from Commanda, because, Ron was unable to attend. And the next meeting is July 3rd.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. June 3rd.
And
I'll just
the only
call it a
thing,
day.
for those of you where we used to have it on Saturday or Sunday, because we got the government grant, the government insists that it's on Canada Day, because they're the government. So that's why it's on Sunday. And I thank him for getting the money. So moving on, Councillor Kirk.
Okay, well, I have 3 items. Library board, start out the OTF resiliency grant was approved. We're still waiting for the transfer of the first payment from town. Seniors grant, nothing yet. It's a $7,000 grant. We don't know if we're gonna get it or not. The OTF capital grant, we'll find out at the end of July about that one. Canada Summer Jobs, we have 1 position approved. And the hydro grant, we weren't successful. And the LEAF grant, I talked about this is from the insurance company grant. It opens in September, so we're gonna apply for it, see how it plays out. And then the Powassan Legion stepped up and donated $2,000 for community conversation and a pool of books. The community conversation series that we've been doing has been quite successful. And no response yet from Powassan Council on the 14+14 budgetary adjustment. But we did put together a budget committee last night that's going to start the 2025 budget this summer so that we're ready. And we did make a motion that we will have our budget ready for mid-January to present to our respective municipalities in a timely fashion before we start our budgets. The quiet room is done. The door just came in and we're waiting for it to be painted and installed, but the rest of the room looks like it's gonna work out quite fine. The computers are coming from Dell from the resiliency grant. The Friends of the Library quote draw at the end of June proceeds to the Maker program. And the Maker program is for the little kids. And it's constructing stuff. And there's a couple of kits that they're pre-made kits that it's like mechano sets and stuff like that fit to work. And May 22nd at 3 p.m. Dr. Gochi is going to come in and do a talk on MAID. So that's that for the library. And what was the next one? Phenom. I took some notes here. But anyway, motions that were passed at Phenom are resolution or airdrome. So what a lot of people have been doing, and I guess it became a thing probably in the southern part, more so than where the larger lakes are. People have been putting in docks, and it's to bypass municipal law to make them large enough, and they apply for a federal airdrome permit. So there was a motion, we passed a motion that I'll hand this off to Chris. All the motions are here after to talk to Transport Canada and have something curtailed on that, so that there's some policing done by the municipalities, because apparently they're doing some pretty extensive docks and blocking out people's view from their cottages and whatnot. Anyway, physician and nurse recruitment. I believe this year, NOSM is putting out 27 doctors. Unfortunately, there's 240 retired. So, and they're expanding their programs. We also passed a motion to increase the budget for NOSM immediately by $4 million, because the Ontario government has been on them to expand the program, so they've expanded it. They have a nursing program, they have other programs as well. They've expanded, but they didn't give any extra money to expand the program, so they're $4 million in the toilet at this point. So trying to get that, but the recruitment is working, whereas 88% of the doctors that they place in Northern Ontario, once they get their accreditation, they're staying in Ontario, and that's unheard of. So the next one is, this is near and dear to clerks especially, joint and several definition of an employer. So we did have an impassioned discourse from Sudbury Councillor Signoretti about the prohibitive cost of having a municipal rep on every job site and the potential astronomical cost of litigation with the administrative labor and private parties. So that is going off to the province as well. So that's for you on that. And the third one is the police detachment board. I finally got an email from them,
Okay,
a couple of emails. And then after a number of other emails back and forth, I got a PIN number and I could get in, and I took the initial course today. And I got 90% on it. That's the course you have to have in order to be operating on the board. So I've got that. I think there's 2 other courses that I have to take. I haven't got their information on it yet, but as they come in, I'll take them.
and still no notice of meeting though,
No.
just they have to give you time to pass all the courses.
Yeah, well, this is the first course, this one here. That will give me enough to work at a meeting. The other ones are, they are time sensitive in that I will be given a time frame to take the courses and pass them, and whatever minimum criteria they have on passing. This one here was 75%. I got 90% on it, so we're good. But yeah, they'll give you a time frame to have them in. If you don't have them in, then you won't be able to operate on the board until you get them, so.
Well,
That's all.
congratulations for passing. And B, on behalf of all the council, thank you for doing it, because I didn't know there was a test. Tonight I can assure everybody there's no quiz at the end. And finally, next week, Tuesday is Pines, Wednesday is Eastone. I do have a quick report on Sturgeon French River. Average level of the lake today was 196.13. The lake had peaked at 196.22, so the lake has dropped 9 centimeters, so almost 4 inches. Sturgeon River was at 202 centimeters today. And the dam overflow, and it's funny, I should add, Sturgeon was at 202. Inflows in the last 3 days, because there's more than just the sturgeon flowing in, added up to 340, and the dam outflow was 450. So that's why we're making some headway finally. Wolseley Bay, Dry Pine Bay, and Hartley Bay have all dropped. They've dropped about 2 centimeters, and we're down 9. So that's why they're closing the dams a little so that they can drop more. And they suggested 1 to 2 centimeters per day. And like I said, they're beginning to cut the flow at the French to help the lower French, which is still in flood mode. And I think, John Paul, the last thing they said, meeting when needed. So when it's going down, they don't usually need them. what if it was going the other way and we needed, so that might have been the last one for the year, but we'll get updates. And otherwise, that is all the committee reports, so we can move on to minutes. I need the mover and seconder. Thank you. Councillor Kirky and Councillor Scott. It's R 2024-106, moved by Councillor Kirky, seconded by Councillor Scott, that the minutes of the special council meeting held April 16th, 2024, and the regular council meeting held April 16th, 2024 be adopted as published. All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next one, mover and seconder for, thank you, Councillor Ham and Councillor Foot. It's number R 2024-107, moved by Councillor Ham, seconded by Councillor Foot, that the minutes of the special council meeting held May 9th, 2024 be adopted as published. All in favor? Carried. Making sure I sign all of these. Next, mover to seconder to remove a beaver dam, Councillor Yam and Councillor Foot. Number R 2024-108, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Foot, that we authorize the Public Works Department to remove a beaver dam on private property located at concession 18 lot 6, parcel 17440 NS, to provide preventative measures protecting road infrastructure. And you saw it on the map. And all in favor? Carried.
It's already gone. They must have went in and did it.
I think they had to.
Yeah.
But,
Good. Glad we passed that.
well, we have to let council know when we go on private property for those purposes, but it was an immediate need.
But the people were okay with
Oh,
us
yes,
doing
the private property owners were approached and they gave.
Same
their
question I asked.
Yes.
it. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, we just went and ripped down.
We did it for, Dougal did it, we did it like
Yeah.
for the last 47 years.
the same
You just
spot?
put it all over the.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you just go in and say, water's backing up and get her done.
Yeah, how important is the road to you?
That's right. And it's ruining their property
Right.
too.
Yeah, so it saves them.
Yeah.
Good. That's a positive for sure. Next one, we had said from correspondence to donate 100 to Magwood Highlands, so mover and seconder, and I'm looking that way, Councillor Scott and Councillor Kirky. Number R 2024-109, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirky, that we authorize a donation of $100 to the Magwood Highlands Secondary School Graduation Awards Program. All in favor? Carried. Next one, again, came from correspondence last time, and that was Crime Stoppers. And again, if any of you are interested, Friday, June 21st, Highview Golf Course, you could sign up for the Crime Stoppers golf tournament, again at Highview. I think I still have a club in the pond at Highview, so I won't be going back. I need a mover and a seconder. Okay. Councillor Scott, Councillor Kirk. It's number R 2024-110, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirky. Do we authorize a donation of $100 to the Near North Crime Stoppers Program? All in favor? And the last one that came from correspondence was regarding private wells for the provision of water, and that the government should continue to pay for the testing of private wells. And it's, I need to move her into seconder. Thank you. So it's number R 2024-111, moved by Councillor Yem, seconded by Councillor Foot. Whereas the Township of Nipissing relies on private wells for the provision of water, and whereas water testing is required to ensure the health and safety of the residents and visitors to the Township of Nipissing. Now therefore, we support the resolution received from the town of Goddard requesting that the province not proceed with the recommended phase of free private well testing in Ontario. All in favor? Carried. Correspondence. Okay. There's a lot of correspondence. You could tell we haven't met for a while, and I did speak harshly to Kim about it. Number one is just information on the District of Parry Sound Municipal Association. And we will have some people going for sure. Number two, thank you from the Altman and the Boston Agricultural Society for the donation towards the 2024 Fall Fair. Three, we really have no issues with our non-native exotic wild animals in Nipissing, so I'm hoping we can let this one ride for now. Number four, information of impacts annual report. Pursuing, I hope, is excellence, and the performance report. So just questions from impact. They've definitely decided to wait till the pandemic property, high point land sales are over, and then they're gonna come back and start, assessing again when they come back down. But in some cases, I think they've already started, because mine came down. But who knows? So just the financial statements and everything for 2023. The next one, 5, a resolution for the County of Prince Edward, Municipality of Wawa, and Loyalist Township, a municipality accessibility fund. And if you looked at it, there are 2 reports, and the name on it was Donovan. And in our case, as long as you don't, if you do major renovations, you have to work on the accessibility. But in our case, we don't have to do that because we have no major renovations and we are working towards it. Okay, so right now it has no effect on us as long as that ramp and everything over there. But should we tear this down, then we're gonna have to do some serious. So right now we're good with it, unless you want us to move ahead. And otherwise, we go to the city of Stratford, the city of Guelph, saying that we need to end the subsidization of fossil fuel. But they're just, it's an information item. They'd like us to end it, but right now they have nothing quite ready to take the place of it, So it's a great idea, but Councilor Kirky?
I'm a strong advocate of fossil fuels, so.
Well, we're not voting. The resolution for the town of Smith Falls regarding basic income guarantee. That's a little beyond our scope, but the difficulty here, and even the government's having this, if we want to have a basic income, Toronto needs you know, $1 million a year to live in Toronto. You don't need quite that much to live in Restville, so how do you look at a guarantee without going into percentages? You know,
Whose pocket is that coming out of?
I'm not sure, who was it?
No, I mean, ultimately, a basic income, is it going to be on the back of the employer? Or is it going to be a subsidy given to by the province or the federal government? Who ultimately, every penny that they spend comes out of whose pocket?
Yeah,
Just saying.
yes. So right now, they're still working on it, and maybe that'll be an AMO,
Well, even if you look at
the vote 4-3.
4-3, so
It was a heated conversation.
it must have been.
Number 8, North Bay Prairie Sound Health Unit, again, information items. We had already heard about the Nipissing Recreation Committee, April 15th. I'm proud to say, as it says in the letter from Emergency Management, that we have met our requirements, met the criteria. It was a great meeting we had that day. Excellent. Resolution for the city of Peterborough regarding jurisdiction of Ontario's ombudsman. It's already set up. So I'm not sure why, but it's good. Resolution from Hastings. Sustainable infrastructure regarding, or infrastructure funding for small municipalities. That is going to AMO.
Yeah.
And of course, we would support that because it just means more money for us. But it's going above and beyond. The Township of Nipissing Museum Board, we've already heard about that. And the last one, I've asked staff to investigate it, and that's a resolution from Parry Sound Social Services Admin Board to set basic needs and shelter rates for Ontario Works. And we're gonna talk to our, we'll try to reach out, or I may, to our representative, Mayor McIsaac, and see what he can share with us about that. So, other than that, any questions about the correspondence? Okay,
The DSAB CAO report for the last month is at the office as well. It's one of those large documents. We didn't include it in the correspondence, but it's available if anybody would like to read it.
because we thought you had enough to read as it was. Okay, so accepting the correspondence, moving second. Okay. Councillor Yam, Councillor Foote. That means you boys get the big heavy lifting today.
We haven't met for a month.
Yes.
So this is a month's worth of expenses.
So it's number R 2024-112, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Foote, that we accept the correspondence as presented. All in favor? And I'll get a mover and seconder looking over in your general direction. Thank you very much. That would be Councillor. About time you got under that, Councillor Scott, and didn't lift it, and Councillor Kirk. Now, do you want to point out on this, I noticed East Home's in here. That takes a hefty bunch. It's a chunk. And there are a couple others, but I don't know where I put my, oh, there it is. But I didn't write it on. What else?
There's policing in there.
Police, oh, yeah,
There's the monthly remittances for payroll.
two,
Yes.
two,
Two of them.
Two of everything.
So everything's two because it's been a month.
yes.
And we had an OPP on there as well.
Yeah.
That's 26,000 right there.
Yeah.
Where is that? Twice? Yes, that, oh no.
No,
one.
Just one.
So I'll read it and then I'll ask for any comments or questions. It's number R 2024-113, moved by Councillor Scott, seconded by Councillor Kirkie, that the statement of accounts dated April 16th, 23rd, 27th, 29th, May 2nd, 3rd, 9th, and 11th, 2024, totaling $284,789.20 be approved. Any other comments or questions? Going John, all in favor? Carried. Good. Everybody's done a great job tonight. I appreciate that. This is the confirming bylaw. So who wants this one? Councillor Yam and Councillor Kirk. So number R 2024-114, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Kirk, that we pass bylaw number 2024-27, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on May 14th, 2024, read the first, second, and third time, and passed this 14th day of May 2024. All in favor? Carried.
You make them big.
Now I can go to this side. Nothing we like better than getting out. And adjourning by on and mover and seconder. Thank you. Thank you very much. Councillor Yam and Councillor. It's most appreciated. It's number R 2024-115, moved by Councillor Yam, seconded by Councillor Flynn, that the meeting be adjourned at 7:16 PM. Next regular meeting, 2 short weeks on May 28th, 2024.